Red 2 standing by, all 4 lit, and in the green. Welcome back to Banjo-Kazooie, where we are going on a house inspection of Mad Monster Mansion. So far, we've been pretty impressed with those very nice polished timber floorboards, high ceilings, and all those other interesting features. The place has certainly got character. It is definitely the sort of place that you would say had character. Or some sort of really random and vague description that's just like, this house is really, really weird. I mean, the garden shed's made out of timber for some reason, and it's got its own spirit board. I believe the term Ouija board is actually trademarked by somebody for some reason. Not sure why, but anyway, we need to get spelling. Greetings, O Solid One. I'm Tumbler the Mighty. Solve the puzzle, and you can take this infernal thing that's stuck under me. It really chafes. It's absolutely terrible. It's been itching all week. Please do something about it. I'm really desperate. I jumped over it. Thank you. I've given myself a major disadvantage. Somehow that's a Z over there, by the way. Somehow I just wound up not sticking the landing, so you can't kill that purple tee-hee. That one. So that's just there to make things a little bit more annoying. Alright, let it get out of the way. The camera is once again our worst adversary, and Tumbler is probably complaining about all the chafing. Which brings to mind one of Team Rocket's mottos, where Jesse mentions something about chafing and itching, and James adds, it might even stop all of Jesse's complaining. And you can tell just the little, I think it was Eric Stewart's delivery, but the little pause just before James says complaining, it's like he knows what he was gonna say. The original series of the anime got away with so much stuff. It was hilarious. There were so many jokes that just went nicely under the radar, like the whole flaming Moltres bit. That was just brilliant. Anyway, now that we've seen that, we can go to another major feature of this property. It's very close to a chapel with its own cemetery. Now, if you pay attention, you might see that some of the gravestones are a slightly different hue. And of course they're going to wind up coming to life and attacking you. Because of course it does, it's a Rareware game. Everything attacks you and everything's got eyes. For some reason. Now if you wanted to bust down the gate to the hedge maze, it's here. We can cut through there, but we don't need to. There we are. Maybe it is a little more difficult to tell. Oh, by the way, when you're wandering around the back of the church, don't forget the bat. But don't forget to jump into the Banjo-Kazooie window, because it's actually a secret room. You want to get some resources? You can go in here. You can defeat the portrait chompers for some health. And you get this gorgeous organ Whoops. Oh yeah, like grill chompers, portrait chompers do 2 damage. But you get this gorgeous organ rendition. And the fact that they actually bothered to have the stained glass windows reflecting on the floor, even if it is essentially just sort of mirroring the texture. Because it doesn't show up on you, but it's still a really nice touch. So, we go back out here and we can get ourselves a little piece by defeating the rest of the headstones that are troubling us. Like that one. How many more of these are there? Look, there's been a grave misunderstanding. Okay. So, these pots. Now, please pay attention for a moment. You do have to shoot eggs into them.
Thank you.
That's Grant Kirkhope. Grant provided the voice for those pots, and apparently he kept having to redo it because it sounded like profanity. Now, it probably wouldn't surprise me if Rare did try to sneak a little bit past the radar. They were very good at that. As I've mentioned, how do I activate Wonder Wing? As I've mentioned, one of my favourite bits in Banjo-Tooie is in Jolly Roger's Lagoon. Wait, hang on. That's it. Oh, I missed. Yeah, in Jolly Roger's Lagoon, the fact that two of the lockers down in the Lockers Cavern have W Anchor and M Bates on them.
Thank you.
That was just too good. That was just too good. There's one more pot. Yeah, the slightly different music in the graveyard is really, really neat. It's just... I just really like it. It sounds... Oh, hit the rim and out. I'm a terrible basketballer, you know that. How do I keep activating Wonder Wing? How does it keep managing to do two things at once when I'm not actually... It's wasting valuable golden feathers and it's starting to tick me off. So, we've got a Jiggy from there. But if we make our way up to the roof, we can get some more goodies. We've got plenty of notes up here. And we will need to get into the church as well. Now, I believe this is actually based on the St. James Parish Church in Twickress, England. So, basically, Rare did their homework and pretty much brought what they knew with them for making this area. There's another little reference to Twickress in the next level, because... Well, I'll mention that when we get to it. So we got 76 notes, we're doing very well. You might have noticed that I didn't go into the well despite the fact there's a Jiggy in there. It's actually much easier to navigate it as the pumpkin. But you get a really good look at the skybox. You've got all those weird trees around the place. And then you've got the full moon with the clouds swirling over it. It just looked really, really neat to younger me. I just loved that design. It just looks so mysterious, but it looks so pretty in real life too. Okay, so we can slide down. Now, you don't have to go back through there. You can just jump down, which is pretty neat. Now, we'll need to talent trot and we'll need to get back to the maze because we have to run. So, the running shoes and this switch here will open the door to the church. Jump and run. Well, I got me to the church on time. And welcome to Mad Monster Mansion's church. An absolutely vast structure. There's some real space warping magic going on. I have a couple of ghosts to deal with that are also very big. But we can get on top of the pews and grab some notes and a couple of eggs. I really love the little design work in this. There are so many neat little designs along the way. There's so much effort put into things. Like, it just goes to show how far things had come from Super Mario 64 in the space of a couple of years. From that essential proof of concept, a somewhat basic game in ways, but very creative, you wind up getting something as beautiful and well designed as this, and so many other games of the time as well. Like, I still don't quite get what the obsession with hyper-realism is. I don't really care for it. I grew up on graphics like this. I grew up on worse. Super Mario 64 looks so basic by today's standards, but you can't deny that it still has its own little bit of charm. 64DS adds its own bit of charm. Games from this era can look very good. It's all about the art direction. It's part of why I like Wind Waker a bit more than Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess went for all the realism and everything. But this winds up going for the perfect art style for its own approach. It got its art direction right. It looks magnificent as a result. It's still really, really neat. Oh, I love the fact it's got, that's a treble clef. I believe it is. But interestingly, we've only got the one stained glass window. Strange. But, oh, that's cool. I don't think I ever stopped to appreciate that. The fact that it does have the little coloured lights coming through. That's really cool. See, things like that. Just all these bits that come together so well. Oh, by the way, the sheet music with that ghostly hand, that is an example of the actual sheet music for this area. Really good. Rightio. Let's go up and talk. Mozart plays his organ with ease, but can you follow him on the keys? Rightio. So, this is a basic repetition minigame. Watch for where he stops and which key he hits. You will be hurt if you screw up. Not bad, Bear, but now watch me. Copy this tune and amazed I'll be. Alright. He moves a little faster now. I'm honestly not sure if the key he plays corresponds to the music at the time. Or if there's a set pattern. There's probably a set path you wind up taking. Because it would probably be a bit too difficult to wind up programming in your music skills are mighty fine, so take this golden piece of mine. It would probably have been a bit too difficult to make him hit a note based on what was playing at the time. At a guess. I mean, just look at how intricate that is. Like, they don't need to do things like that, but they do. There's a flex and banjo if we need it. And another Jiggy. I think that pretty much wraps up all the Jiggies we can get with Bear and Bird. Because we are going to need to be a pumpkin for a little bit. I am missing 2 notes from somewhere though. Now. So I got 86. I think there are 7 in the well. And if I remember correctly, there are if I remember correctly, there are 5 in the jiggy, in the area you get the jiggy inside the drain pipe. Now we have to fly a long way up. Now if I get this right... Nailed it! Now there's a Mumbo Token, if I'm brave enough. Can I stick... Well, from there I really couldn't miss. But there's that jiggy I was talking about. In fairness, you don't need to fly for that one at all. Do need those. Now, that Mumbo Token is a bit dicey to get, but I'll demonstrate something that I'm pretty sure I've mentioned. It comes in handy. So, now that we've got this, how do we get down from here? Well, we will probably hurt ourselves. But if we exploit this, the fact we're invincible lets us stick the landing. Absolutely no concern. The door closes behind us. Now, let's not be a Dumbo. We'll go see... Is there anything hiding behind Mumbo's... Gold feather, okay. Let's go see Mumbo. Ah, there they are. What's up the top? What have we got lurking up the top? Oh, I just cannot stick the landing. There we go. Probably a gold feather. Yep, is it a singular gold feather? Disappointingly, yes.
Alright, welcome back, Baron Bird. It is now time for you to witness Mumbo's latest spell. Oh wait, sorry about that. It's been a really busy day. I've been dealing with all sorts of tourists. They don't know any better. Can you believe they keep asking me to sing Witch Doctor? Oh, absolutely terrible. Now, watch my latest spell. I'm very proud of the pumpkin spell. You know, it makes good soup. Don't think too much about the implications of that, dear viewers. But seriously, Mumbo is pretty hungry.
So, yeah, I will probably actually credit Banjo-Kazooie to a degree for my fondness for pumpkin soup, because I love the pumpkin transformation. It's just so fun. It's just so fun. It's a little bit cute as well. I love the fact it's still got the shorts and the backpack. And I can't get up the ramp. But yeah, it's just so neat. And it can walk on those brambles, which will normally hurt Banjo and Kazooie. But yeah, it's just so fun. It's a perfect transformation for a Halloween themed level, basically. And of course, I love the actual pumpkin Pokemon, Pumpkaboo and Gurgeist. They're so much fun to use. Really good story. For whatever reason, I decided it would be worth trying online battles in the era of X and Y. And somehow, I was just using some of my favourite Pokemon. One of them was my Gurgeist, which I'd nicknamed Blair. Only because I knew about the character from Soul Eater. And down the bog we go.
Happy landings, little one.
And we're getting flushed. This is just like high school all over again. Down into the toilet we go. Now there is supposed to be a Mumbo Token in here. Okay, so that Mumbo Token is still there. Good. So I can probably go back to the one in the cellar and get that. I think that was it. Now we've got regular grilled choppers. And we're topped back up. So yeah. Okay, so once I've got a little bit of grunty voice to do. I can't believe you went in there! Now wash your hands, filthy bear! Yeah, that's the thing that grosses out Grunty. She absolutely has no right to criticize. But, Pumpkin is taking a shower. I will share the story. So I decided just to face randoms online for a little bit of fun with some of my favourite Pokemon. And of course, my poor old Gergeist wound up facing off against somebody's Mega Mewtwo Y. I at least had Shadow Sneak. I used it, did a reasonable amount of damage, and despite the power of Mega Mewtwo Y, I managed to survive its Shadow Ball and KO'd Mega Mewtwo Y with a critical hit from Shadow Sneak the turn afterwards. Not too shabby. I've had a really good love of Gergeist ever since. So, we go down here, and that is another Jiggy. Now, we need to go back to the well, but I will also head to the wine cellar and see if my theory was correct. Did I get the right ones? Yes, I did. I think it's those two that are linked anyway, but either way, I did wind up finding that, so hopefully I was able to give you the right information. Okay, Stealth Pumpkin. Dun 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 dun. I can't do much more of this or I'll be busted for copyright. Anyway, Stealth Pumpkin needs to go to the well. Well, 3 holes in the ground. Ah, yeah, there's that there. And so we can sneak into the well via a little pipe down here. You can swim. And this is where the underwater variant of Mad Monster Mansion's theme will normally play. You will not hear it unless you come in here and swim as Banjo and Kazooie. But it's also much easier to avoid the enemies, for the most part, if you are the much smaller Pumpkin. Hi Banjo, this is all I get to do. You found all 100 notes. Well done, you get an unnecessary extra life now. Well done, I think you've got everything. You know what, I'm just going to wind up continuing to talk because it really allows me to pad out my part and then I can wind up getting paid a bit extra. You know, my family kind of needs it. We lost when I bet heavily on the kickball. I really shouldn't have done that. Hi, I'm Bottles. I need to keep talking so I can get paid. Please, I need an advance. My kids are eating my boots. Okay. Now, staying as the Pumpkin. Wow, it's me again. Your best note score for this world is now 100. I'm gonna get... Oh, okay. So, let's check our totals. I'm pretty sure we've got everything. So, Mad Monster Mansion took a little bit of time because I decided to show off everything the mansion had. If you know, it's not too confusing. You gotta know where to go, of course. But you can make it a fair bit faster if you wind up pretty much coordinating your route to get all the stuff in the churchyard after you've run into the church. You basically combine things as best you can, go from there. So, there's a ghost. It's a ghost who will annoy us. There's Mumbo. There's a Mumbo Token. And you will note that the very last transformation in the game costs us 25 Mumbo Tokens. We nearly have enough for that. So, nicely done. Now hit this, and we are finally ready to at least reach that dreaded area. Now, we need to transform back. And Mumbo again has another one.
That pumpkin is making me hungry. I'm going to get the pot ready. Yum! Bear-flavored pumpkin. I wonder what that tastes like.
Well, we don't want to become a particularly robust pumpkin soup, so let's get out of here. But of course, we still have the risk of becoming a fried pumpkin. Because we have to traverse a narrow bridge, not over troubled water, but over lava, at least here. In this area, because the rippers are different colours, you can identify them from the regular gravestone. The fact they do have a different colour palette makes them stand out and makes them a bit easier to avoid. So, the Odyssey of the Pumpkin is going to begin. Once I can get the camera to cooperate. This winding path. Now, if I could... Now, the pumpkin can't fly. I hate going through this bit. Because it's one step means you're lost and you're a cinder. You're a roasted pumpkin. It's so irritating. It at least saves when you get Cheeto. But even with the Nintendo 64 controller, I have never been that confident. Now, we can save and quit at some point. I mean, we probably have to do that at least once before we get to Grunty's Furnace Fun, because, let's face it, you all want to see Hot Grunty, don't you? But too bad, Brentilda time. Yeah, apparently Grunty's even sassing Brentilda for giving away her secrets. Wow. Oh, rightio, you get an energy fill-up from Brentilda. I forgot about that. So, through here. Go through this tunnel and we find Cheeto again.
Cheeto, Bear and Bird have found once more another spell they get.
If one more page I see you turn, then Grunty shall Cheeto burn.
Nasty witch is a code I shall tell. Enter red feathers on sandcastle floor in Treasure Trove Cove.
So we've got our cheat code. Now it is time to make the journey back. So if all goes right, you will see me at Treasure Trove Cove. If all goes wrong, you will see me die. While we're here, let's go grab that Jiggy. Now, for years, I figured that you needed the running shoes and the switch near Freeze Easy Peak. That was always what we thought, but this... Discovering this, and I think it... Oh! Wait, that kind of defies physics. It might have been watching Proton John and Lucagen do this, or it might have been watching Josh Jepson, but either way, I found out that you could do this, and that just makes it so much easier. It's a great help. So, red, where's the F? And now we need the T, H, E, R, and S.
Bear and Bird get 100 red feathers. 100 maximum now is.
All my feathers, it makes me sick. Fly to me, your butt I'll kick. Well, that should probably wrap things up. I will see you back in the entrance room to Rusty Bucket Bay when we start up again. Thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.